All right, thank you, worship team. And one of the ways he holds us fast is by gathering. So that's what we're doing, right? Gathering and opening up his word to hear from him. And so as we turn to Ecclesiastes 5, we're continuing in our series this morning. Ecclesiastes 5. As you're turning to Ecclesiastes 5, isn't it easy to become enamored with people who just seem to have it all? I think I'm just going to go out on a limb. 20 years ago, there was a show out that was called The Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. Any of you remember that show hosted by the guy with the Robin Leach? And in that show, again, the intent was to show the extravagant lifestyle of the prosperous, the celebrities, those who are considered wealthy. Which, by the way, all of us are prosperous here this morning. So we know that. We're not even going to have a whole discussion on we are considered wealthy. Every single person in this room, right? We're prosperous. Robin Leach, as he concluded each of these episodes, ended his show with this statement, this phrase, champagne wishes and caviar dreams. You remember that? We actually watched that show growing up. I don't know why. But the closing statement every week was, from his standpoint, to wish upon his viewers the finest of these things that were just viewed. Like, his desire was for everyone that's watching that show that they might experience this kind of prosperity as well. Well, Solomon has a different take on prosperity. In fact, as we've stated before, I appreciate Solomon's forthrightness on what is real in life. Solomon comes along, and he has been and is continuing to tell us that don't judge a book by its cover. It's not what it appears. That those who appear to have it all together or to have the good life isn't always necessarily good for them. And Solomon wants to teach us this. He wants to come along and give us the truth about prosperity. And the way he's going to go about that is by actually giving and describing us three frustrating areas of prosperity. In the ancient Near East and Bible times, an individual was considered blessed or prosperous if he or she had three things going on. They had money, if they had family, and if they had a long life. And Solomon actually is going to address these three areas of prosperity, but the way he's going to go about addressing it is by sharing with us that these three areas, which are considered to be prosperous in the world's eye and to have others look upon them and say they have it all together, actually are very frustrating areas. So we're just going to dive right on into these three areas. First one's longer than the second and the third, and then we're going to draw some application, and we're going to wrap it up, and that's it. That's our time this morning. So three frustrating areas of prosperity begins in chapter 5, verses 10 to 17. And let me just show you on the screen the first one, and that is this: money. Money is frustrating if you can't enjoy it. You say, where do you get that in the text? Well, let's look at the text. We're going to do the alliteration thing here. Is that all right? And I'm going to mess it up as we go forward, but just roll with it. 5 fast, frustrating facts. All right? In chapter 5, verses 10 to 17, there are 5 fast, frustrating facts about finances. There you go. We added another one on the fly. All right? And the point of this brief exercise in looking at these frustrating facts about finances is to cause us to get into what really is real and true when it comes to money. All right, so hang on, here we go. Keeping in mind again that we're all wealthy. And isn't it interesting, just a quick time out, I won't do this, I don't think, throughout, but isn't it interesting, I don't know about you, when you saw money on the screen, or I said money, was there a part of you that just kind of like started closing up shop? Have you ever been in conversations with people about money and then for some reason they get a defensive posture and they want to come back with like Bible verse and use it against you and say, no, money's not the problem. It's the love of money. And guess what? That's true. But that doesn't mean there isn't some realistic facts and truth we need to be warned about when it comes to money so as not to be fooled about money and how actually money can be very frustrating. So these are the 5 facts. Number 1, it's found in verse 10. Look at verse 10. Chapter 5, verse 10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves his wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. Fact number 1, money does not satisfy. Any of you, don't raise your hands. Any of you satisfied with your money? That's just it. If I were to ask you, okay, you know this, how much money is enough money, what would you say? Well, what did Rockefeller? Yes, I have an R problem. We know that. Let's get past it, folks. Let's be mature. What would he say? He would say, I just need one more dollar, right? You never have enough. You're never satisfied with your money. It's like seawater. You drink it and you want more. And you keep drinking and eventually it kind of makes you sick, right? That's how money is. You're never satisfied. And when you get a certain amount of money, the deception is that your lifestyle now grows past that because you've adapted to your current living of lifestyle based on your amount of your piggy bank. And then you grow past that current lifestyle. And so in order to attain the next level of lifestyle, you need a bigger piggy bank. And so you get more. And it never stops because you always outgrow your current level of lifestyle. So therefore you need more money. Money never satisfies. Frustrating fact number 2, verse 11 of Ecclesiastes 5. As goods increase, so too do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owners except to feast their eyes on them? Here's a frustrating fact, and that is the more you get, the more that gets taken. Insert taxes, right? But it's not just the government taking your taxes. You accumulate more money and more wealth, you need more people in your life to handle your accumulation. You need an accountant. She gets that slice. You need a financial planner. She gets that slice. And now you're pretty concerned, which we'll look at the next frustrating fact in a minute here, but now you need safety and security around your accumulation, and life just becomes so complicated and complex that everybody gets their slice. So even though you get more gets taken. It can be frustrating, Solomon says. It's like the bucket of water that has holes. If you only have a little bit of water in the bucket, the pressure's not so great, but you pour more water in that bucket, the pressure becomes more great and the water comes out faster. That's how it is with finances too. It gets frustrating. Solomon goes on, let me tell you something else about finances that can be frustrating, and that's in verse 12. The sleep of a laborer is sweet, whether they eat little or much, but as for the rich, their abundance permits them no sleep. Does that describe you? Or more literal, his fullness gives him no rest. You ever laid up at night trying to think and worried about gaining more? Or maybe the opposite, you stay up at night worried that you might lose what you have. It's one of the things that's frustrating about having money and prosperity is it gives a person no rest at times. There is a simplicity to life when you have just enough, isn't there? Solomon gives us another frustrating fact about finances in verses 13 and 14. I have seen a grievous evil under the sun, wealth hoarded to the harm of its owners, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when they have children, there's nothing left for them to inherit. This is a little bit of a challenging one. Just go with me if you don't mind for a little bit, and that is this. It hurts to keep it, and it hurts to lose it. Have you ever gone out to dinner with a wealthier person than you, and then the check gets dropped on the table? And if it hasn't been discussed at the beginning, who's taking care of the ticket, there is this flesh that arises within you, and you think to yourself, what? This guy he's more well off. And then there's an awkward pause, like who's going for it? And in your mind, you're thinking, well, he's richer, and so he should be the one that's taking it. And in your mind, if he doesn't take it, and you're like, we're going to split, in your mind and heart, you might think, not all of you, you might think, well, he's quite stingy. He's hoarding it to himself. It can be frustrating having money because then you appear to your friends and acquaintances around you that you're stingy. And relationships are harmed. But then you can lose it on right like that with a poor investment, and then all of a sudden you lose your money, and then all of a sudden somehow, according to this illustration, you have a kid and you can't even feed him. It's frustrating to have money. It affects your relationships. It's frustrating to lose money. And also verses 15 and 17, everyone comes naked from their mother's womb, and everyone comes, so they depart. They take nothing from their toil that they can carry in their hands. This too is a grievous evil. As everyone comes, so they depart, and what do they gain since they toil for the wind? All their days they eat in darkness with great frustration, affliction, and anger. You know what that is? We know this one, you can't take it with you. Right? It's what they say. You will never see a U-Haul, right, being pulled by a hearse. The statement's true. As you came into this world, you're going to leave. Nada. You're not taking anything with you. But yet we spend our entire lives toiling for more money. Solomon says that's frustrating, isn't it? You can't take it with you. In the meantime, in your pursuit of toiling for more, it's affected relationships around you. So as at the end of the day, verse 17, you find yourself all alone in a dark house eating dinner by yourself because of your pursuit of money. Solomon says, as he steps back and looks at the frustrations which money can bring, it's vanity. It's empty. It's like hevel. It's like you're trying to chase the wind and grasp the wind, but you can't. It's empty. It's frustrating. Look at chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. I've seen another evil under the sun, still under this number one point. So hang with me. We're going to wrap up this first point. I've seen another evil under the sun, and it weighs heavily on mankind. God gives some people wealth, possessions, and honor so that they lack nothing their hearts desire, but God does not grant them the ability to enjoy. Take note of that. Why can the accumulation of wealth be frustrating? It's frustrating because man can't enjoy it. If you labor in the accumulation of mammon and wealth, your pursuit of it is to be satisfied. It's not the money, right? It's not the money in and of itself. It's what I'm hoping this money will do for me, and that is bring me full satisfaction and enjoyment. And Solomon says, guess what? If you are pursuing finances for satisfaction, you're going to be frustrated and you will not enjoy it. My brief question as we transition to the second point here in a second is this: are you content with your current financial status? Are you content? If you're frustrated, that means you're not enjoying what God has given you. If you're content with what you currently have, that means you actually are enjoying what you have. When you don't enjoy what you have, that means you're discontent and you're frustrated, and you are going to continue to chase the winds of finances. That's what he's saying. So are you content? with where you're at? Or do these frustrating facts describe you? Money is frustrating if you can't enjoy it. Number 2, let's look at the second point. This is just in verse 3 of chapter 6. This might startle you. Family is frustrating if you can't enjoy them. This is an odd one, isn't it? Sorry, it's in the text. Hang on, look at the text. Chapter 6, verse 3. A man may have 100 children. Right? That's what we're going for, actually, in our house. We're going for 100. Keep up the Stoneses. And this family, and this family, and this family in our church. So it's like, it just came to mind, sorry. A man may have 100 children and live many years, which is what we're going to get to here in a second. A man may have 100 children, yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity, and that's what I'm saying right here, this whole thing is about prosperity. Prosperity of money, prosperity of 100 kids, 100 members, prosperity of your family. Look at the text. If he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive proper burial, now hang on, look at this stark, strong language. I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. Family is frustrating. I mean, I can just stop right there. I mean, we can do testimony time, one after. Come on up. How is your family frustrating? What have they said this week or yesterday, right? Family's frustrating. Your immediate family, your extended family, family is frustrating. We all know this. It's frustrating because you cannot enjoy them. You say, what? Solomon doesn't elaborate much on this particular area of prosperity. So I had to think through this a little bit more. But what we do know is that in the middle of verse 3, that there is no proper burial. Burying of people way back then was a very important event, that it was a family affair. And as you died, the entire family gathered around you, and it was a huge ceremony. But there's no proper burial with this guy. And the only thing that I can think of is this guy was frustrated with his family to the degree that he pushed people out of his life. So then I asked myself, how could a person be frustrated with family? Now, these are just ideas. This is not what's going on in my family, all right? It's like, boy, you got a bad family. It's just go with me, all right? What would cause you to be frustrated with your spouse? Maybe you don't have a spouse. Maybe you have a spouse, but he or she's not the kind of spouse that you have in your mind for that spouse to be. And so that spouse's behavior affects you to the degree that you're discontent with that spouse, and now I'm frustrated in my marriage. How about your kids? Your kids frustrate you? None of my children have ever frustrated me. It's an amazing thing, I tell you. Why do your kids frustrate you? Setting aside the good desire that parents should have in desiring to raise godly adults and never really satisfied with their walk with God, right? Setting that aside, the desire to see Christian maturity in them, well, what gets you frustrated about your kids? Do they act in public the way that you think they shouldn't? Are they not the kind of a picture of kid that you had hoped that they would be? I'm frustrated because my kid is doing this or my kid is not doing this. Rather, Solomon is coming along, and then if you are discontent with your spouse or your kids, you will be frustrated. I'm discontent because my spouse or my kids look like this, and for sure they need to look like this. And if this doesn't match this, then I'm frustrated. And when I'm frustrated, I'm not enjoying my family. Solomon says the prosperity of family is a good thing if you can enjoy them. If you can't enjoy them and you're frustrated, then guess what? It's better off if you were never born. That's a pretty harsh statement. It's not to minimize miscarriage, it's to maximize what it is for a person to live in this world with no relationships, no satisfaction in relationships, or even in this third point, to live a long life and not enjoy it. That's number 3, longevity, verse 6. Even if he lives 1,000 years twice over but fails to enjoy his prosperity, don't all go to the same place. It's hevel, it's vanity, it's fleeting. Solomon thirdly says this: longevity is frustrating if you can't enjoy it. Who wants to live long? Do not raise your hand again. Who wants to live longer? Longevity has always been a popular pursuit amongst mankind. And it's not stopping today, folks. With the internet, you can do all the research you want. You can research a specific disease, no pun intended, to death, to find out everything you want about how to beat it. What supplements do this, and what this does this, and what that, and this healthcare, and this healthcare. Why? Is it possible you're discontent with trusting God's hand in your life, that you're seeking to prolong your death? We have this notion that a longer life translates to happiness. Now, I love all the old people in the world. I'm getting closer, right, to that category. Some of the best people to be around are old people. Ron, I'm not going to mention your name. You knew I was about ready to mention your name, Ron. Ron, I'm not mentioning your name. I'm just sitting here enjoying it. He's enjoying it. Have you been around godly saints and it's a joy to be around them? I mean, we have names and faces coming to mind even in this church, right? They're a joy, they're a blessing to be around, right? Because they're content with God. Now, on the flip side, it is not enjoyable to be around some people, some older people, who are frustrated with their life. We've also been around older people who are concerned and fearful about the next life and eternity to the degree that it causes them to be very cranky. Perhaps you've been around older people and it's just one complaint after another. It's like, come on already. Is it possible that older people are concerned with dying so as not to really live? But guess what? It's not just older people, is it? It's all people. Because we've bought into the notion that this is our best life now, and the fact of the matter is, this is our worst life now. When's the best life? It's the one to come. But yet we seek to prolong the days in this life, which is actually our worst life, because we have failed to trust in God's promises that our best life is yet to come. How about you this morning? You find yourself staying up at night worried about death? Or you're seeking, are you like, every year, it's another year, here we go, I get closer and my body's feeling it, oh no. You're unable to enjoy today. That's the point. Solomon says if you're worried about extending your life, you will be unable to enjoy life. How about you? You content that your life is in God's hands and you look forward to your best life, which is next, not this life? If you're worried and concerned, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated. Every sickness, every doctor's visit, you're going to be frustrated. You're not going to be able to enjoy the life that God has given you. God says, be content. If you're not content in my sovereign control over your life, you will live a frustrated life, which is really not living because you're not enjoying it. Here's what I want us to go, though. In each of these areas, frustrating areas, there's a repeated phrase, in chapter 6, verse 2, verse 3, and verse 6. Some of your translations might have, your versions have satisfaction, but the idea is enjoyment. Here's what we're after here, folks. We're just going to wrap this up here. Prosperity is frustrating unless you can enjoy it. Prosperity of money, prosperity of family, prosperity of life, and any other category you want to throw in to the mix here. Prosperity is frustrating if you cannot enjoy it. And God, through these verses 2, 3, and 6, says, I am not allowing them to enjoy it. Do you get that? Do you see that in the text? I am not allowing them to enjoy prosperity. Verse 7 of chapter 6, everyone's toil is for their mouth, yet their appetite is never satisfied. Man will never be satisfied pursuing prosperity under the sun. He's not going to enjoy it. Why? God's not going to let him. If you're pursuing satisfaction in the things of prosperity under the sun, God is telling us, folks, I'm going to make sure you don't enjoy it. Why would God do that? Why would God withhold the ability to enjoy the things of life under the sun? So that man pursues him. God wants us to taste cardboard when all we do is insist on eating the box. If I'm going to continually to pursue satisfaction and enjoyment in things of life under the sun, it will continue to taste like cardboard. That is by divine design, so as man to pursue him and not the things under the sun. Full and eternal satisfaction only comes from God, and full and eternal satisfaction to enjoy life under the sun only comes by God. And I think that brings us to our big idea from the text, and that is this: enjoying the gifts under the sun only comes when we enjoy God. I'm not going to enjoy anything under the sun, regardless of what it is that you pursue, unless you enjoy God. He wants our worship. Our worship means we trust in Him. Our worship means we're content in Him. Our worship means I'm fully satisfied in Him, and namely through the person and work of Jesus Christ and His past, present, and future saving benefits for us. That's what God wants. He wants us to pursue Him and enjoy Him, and this is what He does. Here you go. I give you a gift. I give you the gift of enjoyment. Now you can enjoy life under the sun. Suppose I'm holding a can of peaches right here. This can of peaches has a label around it with some pretty cool, colorful peaches on it. And I hold this can up because I went to the store and I got it. And I picked it up out of the pantry and I'm holding it up and I'm just smelling it. And I'm licking it. I'm taking a bite out of the corner of that metal can. But yet, there's a part of me that's what? It's just not doing it for me. I just can't seem to be satisfied by smelling, licking, taking a bite out of this beautiful can of peaches. And so what does that drive me to do? I'm going to go back to Kroger. Those are there in my ABI. It's not Kroger's. If you say Kroger's, you might as well leave because people are going to, You go back to Kroger and what do? I'm going to buy some more cans of peaches. And now I've got 20 cans of peaches, and now I'm licking and smelling and taking a bite out of all these cans of peaches, and yet I'm still frustrated because I cannot enjoy them. And that's intentional. God says, I want you to enjoy me. I want you to be content with whatever I give you, whether it be money, family, life, health, whatever. I want you to be content in me. I want you to realize that the source of all good things come from me. Pursue me. And when we come to that realization, God says, here's a can opener. Now you take the can opener and you open the peaches, and now you're able to enjoy God's good gifts. Sometimes I think we have this notion where it's either God or the gifts. And rightly so, we are to elevate absolutely to the supreme level God, the good giver. But like I love apple crisp that my wife makes, which is easy, by the way, this is an illustration, right? It's easy for me to say, I love apple crisp more than my wife. She's laughing because she knows how much I love apple crisp. It's just an illustration, dear. The gift of apple crisp or the giver of my wife. It's easy to let my affections grow greater of the gift over the giver. And so we have to realize that the giver is the individual who deserves our worship, because the gifts would not be there unless they come from the giver. But don't make a mistake here. Don't think I can't enjoy the gifts because that's going to violate my loyalty of love to God. No, actually, when I enjoy apple crisp, I'm thinking of my wife, or I should be. I'm thinking, wow, what a good wife. She's an unbelievable cook of baked stuff. And it elevates and increases my adoration for my wife. You see that? This doesn't steal my love for my wife. It enhances my love for my wife. So long as I remember that that comes from my wife, I actually worship and serve and adore my wife greater as I enjoy what she has given me. So it is with God. Once we settle that in our hearts and minds that all good things come from God and I'm content with what He has given me, God says, enjoy life. Enjoy life. We enjoy life when we enjoy God. Let's pray. Father, thank you for your truth. It's practical, it's applicable, it's needful. Thank you for sharing with us this morning through Solomon's realistic outlook on life, to remind us all that the things of earth surely do grow strangely dim. These things fade. These things do not last. They do not satisfy us so as to point us to trust and to be satisfied in you and you alone. And when we do that, you give us the ability to enjoy life. I pray that even this week, that we would be people who are fully satisfied in you, and that satisfaction is manifested daily by enjoying life. And may we live this way this week, fully satisfied in you by enjoying our life this week. We thank you for it in your Son's name. Amen. All right, please stand if you would as the